Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Lugness Monster. Today we're going to be reviewing the Star Wars The Black Series Imperial Armored Commando. This is one of my favorite designs from Mando Season 3, and so I'm so glad to finally have this in figure form. It is surprisingly number 42 in the Mandalorian line. It shocks me that we already have 42 figures in this line, but anyway, flipping around to the mural artwork here, I think the mural looks incredible. Really love how they were able to adapt that into the new Black Series boxes. Flipping around to the back, like I said, number 42 in the line, and of course you can pause and read the bio if you would like, with that exact same mural artwork here. So other than that, not a whole lot else going on with the box, so let's crack him open and take a close look at everything this figure has to offer. Alrighty, so we got the Imperial Armored Commando out of the box, and I gotta say, this figure looks really dang cool. It's a mix between a Stormtrooper and a Mandalorian, so he's got a lot of Stormtrooper aspects as well as Mandalorian armor pieces as well, and I really love how this character design was able to merge both of those together so flawlessly, because I think this character design is incredible, and I think it turned out great in figure form. It also does have a decent amount of accessories, so let's go ahead, take them off the spinny stand, and take a close look at everything that this figure has to offer. So first up, I just want to take a look at some of the details on this figure, because I think there's a lot of really nice paint apps. Looking at this like specific chest piece here, nice little like red and gray paint apps for the buttons and different signals. I think that looks great. Even here on the shoulders, there are some of those, and I think those look incredible. Really love the Mandalorian gauntlets on this figure. Nice paint apps on that as well, but just super cool. Like I said, it's that mix between Mandalorian and Stormtrooper that I think looks amazing. I know some people were saying the helmet looks kind of small, and I guess I could agree just a little bit, but it's only very slight. I think it does look small, but I don't think it looks bad by any means. If you look at it next to something like the Stormtrooper, yes, it does look small, but like the Stormtrooper also looks really big when it comes to helmet. So I don't know, I guess I could see that it's a little bit tiny, but it's not anything that bothers me too much. I still think it came out really nice. And I also just want a moment to take a look at this helmet up close, because there's lots of nice details. I think they really did find a way to kind of like match that Mandalorian and Stormtrooper mixed together. It's kind of got this Stormtrooper front mouthpiece here and sides, but it still somehow has that like Mandalorian T-visor. And I think it turned out really nice. And it's kind of one of those designs that I think is awesome. And it, like I said, it kind of replicates a Mandalorian Stormtrooper perfectly. Moving into articulation, starting with the head, he does have, of course, a ball joint at the head, so tons of range of motion there, and he also does have another ball joint at the neck, so you can pretty much get it into any head-looking position you'd like. To be honest, I think the head and neck articulation is something a lot of people take for granted, because a lot of the older figures had very little, and so to be able to get some of those dynamic poses just using some kind of like very slight head movements is something we couldn't get before, and I think it brings the modern Black Series figures articulation to a whole new level. Anyway, looking at the shoulders, they can get up into a T-pose, looking nice. Now, of course, they can go all the way around, but this little kind of shoulder pad here is going to get in the way. It is a soft rubber, though, so as you can kind of see here, it bends and flexes out of the way, so it's not going to hinder articulation too much. Looking at the elbow, it does get past 90 degrees, and of course, you can see the butterfly joints in there, which is always nice. He does have a gauntlet swivel, and he also does have vertical hinges on both of the wrists. Standard ball joint at the abs. And of course, Hasbro is continuing their figures with the like extended hip articulation rather than having a thigh cut, which I think works just fine. I know some people don't like it and they think it hinders articulation, but I think it makes the figure sculpt look a little bit cleaner, and I don't think it hinders articulation too much. But as far as the legs go, can kick up about that far. Can't kick back very far. Once he starts kicking back, his leg kind of like goes out a little bit, just because he's got a big butt. But as far as the knees go, can get well past 90. No boot swivel or anything, but of course he does have pivots and rockers at the ankles. So pretty typical articulation, and I think it looks great overall. Now, one thing I have to point out is the jetpack sculpt here actually fits into the Book of Boba Fett Mando figure that we have, which I think is great. Obviously, we see him use this jetpack at the end of Mando Season 3 for like a majority of the finale there, and so it's one thing that I really wanted them to be able to do with this figure is have the jetpack fit on Mando, and as you can see, it looks really dang good. And speaking of that Mando finale, one thing that I really remember these troopers having is the shields and the batons, and it's something that this figure didn't come with, and it's really disappointing. Now here are actually the First Order riot shield and baton, and I think they fit the job pretty well. It's not perfectly accurate, the shield's shaped a little bit different, the baton's a little bit different, but it's very, very similar, and the designs are very close. I think the biggest problem is that both of them have like this gunmetal gray black color to them in the actual show, and obviously both of these are pretty white. Now I do think the white color actually matches the armor perfectly, so I think it's one of those. It's going to fit pretty well on the shelf if you do want to keep it like this, but if you want it to be accurate, you could always paint it up and make it more of that gunmetal gray or black color that it should be. But this is just one of the few accessories that I think would have went really, really well with this figure that I really wanted to give to my Mando figure too, after he goes and like John Wick's down the hallway picking up the shield and the knife and the baton. It's something that I really wanted to be able to give my Mando figure, and it's just some accessories that didn't come with this figure, which is kind of a shame. But there are alternatives if you do want to display it like this. Anyway, moving on to comparisons, first up we have him next to the standard Imperial Stormtrooper on the right and the Jedha Patrol Trooper on the left. For being a mix of a Stormtrooper and a Mandalorian, he blends in and fits in great with these other standard Stormtroopers. Next up, for just some different kind of Stormtrooper designs, we do have the two versions of the Purge Trooper with the Phase 2 on the left and the Standard on the right. Both are looking great, and it's just an example of some of the other Stormtroopers that we have in the line with different helmet designs, kind of like this one here. Continuing that trend, we do have the Death Trooper on the left and the Shore Trooper on the right. Next up here, unfortunately we don't have the Dark Trooper armor for Moff Gideon in the line yet, but we do have the Season 1 Moff Gideon here on the right, and we have the standard Dark Trooper here on the left. Both are looking great next to this Imperial Armored Commando, and it's just nice to have some more of like Moff Gideon's specialized troopers here with Moff Gideon on the shelf. And then last up for comparisons, we do have some heroes here with Bo-Katan on the left and Mando on the right, looking really, really dang good. So yeah, overall I absolutely love this figure. I think the articulation is really, really solid. I think the new sculpt looks incredible, and I love the design for this figure. I think the brand new sculpted weapons are really cool as well. Now, unfortunately it doesn't come with that riot shield and baton, but it's not the end of the world, and I'm hoping that we do get a different release down the line that does come with that. So I think overall, the lack of those accessories and a slightly small head, I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5. But this is one that I'm still absolutely blown away with, and it's one that I really, really like, and it's going to be on my top 10 best figures of 2024 without a doubt. So it is one that I highly recommend you guys go and actually pick up. But that is going to do it for the video, so if you did enjoy, go down, hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.